me.
Right now, we're still in the hunt. We have a lot to play for right now.
Locked in, championship focus.
Russ to throw for it, and it is caught. Touchdown. Try it on the ground. Chris Carson trying to stay on his feet, and he'll get there.
This is why Pete Carroll was so excited to get him back.
Wentz throwing, and it is caught for the touchdown. Dallas Goedert. Fourth down upcoming.
Got to kick a field goal here.
Wentz throwing, and there's the interception. Quandre Diggs. Fly, Seahawks, fly in the Philadelphia end zone.
Yeah, I wouldn't exactly call it fly, Eagles fly. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to First Take. Thank you so much for being with us. Stephen A. Smith, Max Kellerman, I'm Molly Karen Rose. Monday Night Football, we'll dive right into it. It's actually the Hawks that are soaring. The Eagles have fallen. Carson Wentz has now had 15 interceptions. He's taken 45 sacks thus far this season. Something like that hasn't happened since the 80s. Max, I'll start with you. They have just... Oh, go ahead.
I just want to say, Molly, I can't start off the show without highlighting the blue is looking very, very lovely. Max Kellerman, the tie, the dapping, all of that stuff. But you might want to move the tie a little bit to your right. Just a little bit, Max Kellerman, to your right-hand side. I'm saying just a little.
To my right, like
center.
this, you mean, right?
To your right. Just a little bit over. Just
Yes.
There we go.
I got you. Well, thank
Now
you.
we're on point.
We ready.
Dotting our
I'm just
I's,
here for
crossing
y'all.
our T's.
I'm just trying to be here for y'all.
Appreciate
I'm just
you.
trying to be here for y'all.
You know,
That's
not a
all.
Windsor, so it's a little asymmetrical.
All right, let's go. Let's go.
Philly guys, just 3 wins. Max, tell me this. Do you think the Eagles need to just clean house at this point?
Oh, yeah, there's no other. I mean, like, look, I'm the one. Yes, the answer is yes. I'm the one coming out always and killing Carson Wentz because I noticed since last year when everyone was saying how great he was playing, he was regressing badly. That's continued now till no one can deny it anymore. But, yes, it's not just Wentz. Peterson going for it down 11 on 4th down. And you know me, I'm like all for going for it on 4th down. But situational football, your offense can't do anything. Make it a 1-score game. This is not rocket science. To me, that's Peterson saying, I don't want anything to do with this. Right? He has plausible deniability or whatever. I need to get away from this. Howie Roseman, I mean, a lot of people stupidly passed up on DK Metcalf, Molly, who you and many others were saying, what about this guy over here? You should. But Howie Roseman was one of them. Howie Roseman passed up on Jefferson to take Rieger, who was said he runs a 1.240. Remember, you heard things like he runs a 4.340, but at the combine it was closer to 4.5 and couldn't get separation at all yesterday. No, and by the way, and then drafts Jalen Hurts in the 2nd round, who's clearly that's an indictment of Carson Wentz, but obviously Hurts isn't ready to do anything, or they'd have given him a more of a look so far. And by the way, Peterson, when he puts Hurts in, the offense is doing nothing. They have like 5 consecutive series with possessions with like they're 3 and out, they're 3 and out, they're 3 and out. They put Hurts in, there's a pre-snap penalty, and then he completes like a 6-yard pass. Immediately, Carson Wentz comes back in, right? So it's terrible Peterson, but I think it's almost intentional at this point. Peterson's like, I got to distance myself from this. He's a Super Bowl winning coach. He'll get another head coaching job. I think Roseman also, this stinks. The drafting Hurts doesn't make any sense under the circumstances. He keeps missing with the wide receivers, right, in terms of putting something together. And then obviously Carson Wentz. Guys, do I have to keep saying it? Do I have to keep saying it? The dude is the worst starting quarterback in the NFL right now. Stephen A., if you want to say, well, if Roseman and Peterson were doing better, he wouldn't be the worst, I agree with that. He'd be average, low average. The dude ain't getting paid average, low average. He has an immovable contract. Again, find a taker for the contract. What have I been saying, like early?
Philadelphia, and it might be even when the sun comes up in the city of brotherly love. That's the deal on Monday Night Football. We'll get into it in just 1 second, but from Monday Night Football to a really special Tuesday. Today, simply put, is Giving Tuesday. It's a global day of giving, and in this complex world in which we're living, a global day of giving is pretty darn simple. And I think we're all looking for ways to simplify our lives. Just to smile at somebody. I was walking to work today and I was in the elevator in my apartment building and I couldn't tell if the person was smiling at me because they were wearing a mask. Like, that's where we are in 2020. It's the first day of ESPN's V Week. If you're too young for V, that's Valvano, Jim Valvano, one of the most inspirational figures in modern sports history in the college basketball world. Certainly diagnosed with cancer in 1993, died at the age of 47, but he has left his legacy after he has left us on earth. And it has been a tremendous wave of emotion. More than $250 million, fellas. $250 million in research grants that everything the V Foundation has been able to do to try to eradicate something that every single person listening to us this morning, I don't care who you are, I have met most of you indirectly or directly affected by cancer. So we're going to get into it all throughout the morning. You can donate at v.org/donate. That's V for Valvano.org/donate. And most importantly, 100% of everything you give, $5, I get it. Some people are waiting miles in line to get food. Some people are waiting miles in line to get tested. But if you have $5 or $20 or $500, whatever you can afford, every single cent goes right to cancer research, which is pretty rare. Lots of charities are doing incredible work, but there's always overhead and salary and marketing and rent and this and that. Every last drop and cent you give goes to cancer research. Couldn't be more proud to be associated with this and working here. So we're going to talk about it throughout the course of the morning and what you can do to donate and do your part, no matter how much or how little you give. It's a lot about your time. It's a lot about your money. It's a lot about everything. So we'll get into that throughout the course of the morning. It's an amazing opportunity for you to get involved. And people are always asking, what can I do? What can I do to help people right about now? You can do plenty by donating, v.org/donate. Fellas, last night, it was Mr. Unlimited against Mr. Limited. I'm just going to say it, okay? I speak the truth.
Yes, you do.
Sometimes it's harsh, but I speak the truth. All right, fellas, let's just get right into it. The Seahawks win. They're back in first place in the NFC West. The Eagles have tumbled out of first place in the NFC East. Not too surprising. Jalen Hurts got on the field for a couple snaps, one pass, one handoff. But Key, Jay's been saying this for a while. Is it about time to hand it off at any point now to Jalen Hurts?
No.
Still no. Still no.
You even though Carson Wentz didn't play great last night, and I understand where Jay is coming from, but I also live in the real world of what these professional owners and general managers and presidents of teams and head coaches have to go through and think about. Sprinkling Jalen Hurts in last night, whatever, 2 plays, whatever it was that he had, that was always going to be the plan. Even though he was taking snaps reportedly with the first team, he's probably taking snaps with the first team all year long. But because Carson Wentz has played so bad, it became sensationalized to a whole nother level. And when you look at it, if you start Jalen Hurts to start, not necessarily starting, but if he was playing a significant amount of snaps last night and started to cook, now you got a huge quarterback controversy with a guy on your books for $50 million in Carson Wentz that you got to make a decision on.
So you're saying if a guy comes in and plays better than the guy that's putrid, that creates another problem?
That creates a huge problem because of the economics. These things are always driven by the money. Now, you asked me if Jay says, well, Key, if they should play him more or start him or look to him. This is what I will say. And, I tend to think that in these situations, I try to think like the coaches and the general managers as opposed to like a fan. I know that they probably should do it, but I also know that next week when they play, if Carson Wentz struggles, now I'm going to take him out because this is my last opportunity and chance. Last night was not my last opportunity and chance. I'm holding on by a thread, right? Next week, it's probably my last chance and opportunity if I lose that game. So if Carson Wentz is throwing the ball in the stands and not playing well or giving the ball to the other team like he did last night on the late drive, that could have put him even closer to Seattle and put the pressure on Russell Wilson. Instead, he throws an interception. He was cooking up to that point. They methodically moved down the field, put him in position. Some would argue they should have took the 3. I'm like, man, go for it. Go ahead and go for it because you got to score. Carson Wentz hasn't been the same guy technically since his ACL out in L.A. when he got hurt right before the Super Bowl. He hasn't been the same. Although last year he showed some good signs late in the year, Jay, but he just hasn't been the same. And as far as Jalen Hurts goes, it's hard to, at this stage of the game, when you got that type of money on the line, is to decide to bench your future, what you believe was your future, right now. You may be able to do it next week, but not last night. You couldn't do it.
I'm over it being Carson Wentz's fault. I'm over it, Key. last night, Doug Peterson's Monday Night Football coaching performance was a fireable offense. It was a fireable offense. This team has lost their last 7 of 11 games. Watching the debacle between the quarterback competition is straight up embarrassing. It's logicless.